So this is a tutorial on how to solve the gear corner turning octahedron. Okay. One thing you have to be careful about this puzzle while you're trying to solve it though is if you hear any popping noises, then most likely something got pushed out of place. If that happens, just try to continue and solve the puzzle, and then at the end, if you notice a disparity, then there's something wrong. If not, you're fine. Okay, so for this one, first you have to be able to identify which pieces are what. So in this case, what are the centers? In this case, the centers are these corner-looking pieces. That's why it's called the corner-turning octahedron. So these are the centers, and then these gears are the edge pieces. That leaves these small triangles in the middle as corner pieces. So with that in mind, you're gonna first orient the center so that all the colors are facing in the right direction. So first take any two corners and then see what their similar colors are. In this case, green and pink, and green and pink. So since that's the case, look at the next piece, this one, and what color does this have in common? Green. It doesn't have a pink, so the greens all have to face inwards. And when you're doing this, you should know that that one whole spin of the center will result in something like this. If that happens, you can't turn it anymore. Therefore, rather than one whole spin, you should do one whole spin minus one of these spokes. So you turn that almost all the way, but not quite. And then you can still move all the pieces. So using that method, we're going to rotate all of these so that the colors are the same. So now this one has to be turned this way. And to do that, you should turn, if you want just the center to turn just a little bit to the left, you want to turn the whole thing around to the right. So once, I have to do this one more time. And now the greens are all facing inwards. Now I'm just going to continue with that until I get all the other pieces the same way. So now I have all my centers oriented correctly. And now I want to solve this like a regular 3x3x3 using the same method. So I'm going to do this layer by layer. So first I want the cross, since this piece is already in the correct place. I want to solve this piece, then this piece. So first, I have to find the blue and orange edge piece, and that one's right here. So what I want to do is I just want to put this piece in here, and instead of turning the centerpiece 90 degrees, as you might think on a regular 3x3, you want to make sure that you turn this as much as you need to, so that the edge pieces turn 90 degrees from where it started. So if you look at it from here, I'm going to turn this so that it turns, the edge piece moves from here to here. So that's basically one turn, a quarter turn. So now I'm going to put this down here and then put it in. And just make sure that once you're done with that, put all the centers back to how they used to be. Okay, so right now, it's in the correct place, but I have to turn it. And to turn it, all I have to do is take it out one way. So I'm taking out using the right centerpiece. And then I'm going to put it back in. But you just have to make sure you don't put it in the same way you took it out, because that won't do anything. So since I took it out with the right, I'll put it in through the left corner piece, centerpiece. Okay, so that still didn't work, and I'm just going to repeat this several times until it's in the correct place. So one more time. Okay, so now the edges are at least flattened out. However, this piece has to be flipped 180 degrees. And instead of using the method I just used, because that will take like very many number of times to do that, instead I'm just going to move it out of the way so I don't mess up this already solved piece. From here, I just want to turn the top face so that the centerpiece goes 360 degrees until it arrives back at the same place, this edge piece. So I'm going to just turn it until the blue and orange comes back. And then once it's back, I'm going to put it back in. And you can see turning one edge piece 360 degrees just flips the piece 180 degrees. So now I'm going to solve the blue and gray side. Okay, so the blue and gray is over here, so I'm just going to take it out this way so I don't mess these two up. So turn this 90 degrees out and replace it. And now I'm going to insert this back in. In this case, it already came out flattened, but I still have to rotate it 180 degrees. So again, lift it out so that you don't mess up these. Rotate it around 360 degrees. Then put it back in, and now it's solved. Okay, last one for this cross is the gray and yellow. So I'm going to put that one in. And again, I just have to flip it 180 degrees. Now this time I can't do it just 90 degrees because then this piece would also be affected. So I'm just going to bring it from here. I'm just going to bring it up to this side where I don't have any solved pieces so far. So rotate around 360 degrees to flip this edge piece by 180. And I finished my first cross. And one difference in solving this with a regular Rubik's Cube is I'm going to solve it edges first. So I'm not going to worry about the corners right now. I'm going to do that last. Worrying about the corners, well, you can do that, but it's going to take a long time. Okay, so now I want to put these pieces in. And to put these pieces in, all you have to do is move this piece, the piece you want to replace, out to the top face. Replace it with the piece you want to replace. And put it back in, and that piece is solved. And I'm just going to repeat that. Gray and green. And right now, again, it's not in correctly, so I'm just going to take it out. First I put it in with the right centerpiece, and I'm going to take it out with the left centerpiece. And I'm going to repeat that as many times as I need until it is solved. Now it's solved. Next one. This piece is already in the correct place, just has to be turned. So take it out and insert it again. That piece is good. Now orange and white. I have to redo this one again. Take it out. Put it back in. And I'm just repeating that several times. Okay, so now that piece is good. So now, as you see, I have my second layer of edge pieces. And the next thing you want to do is to get the cross for the top face. And this one, in the regular Rubik's Cube, you would solve the cross first on the top, and then worry about orientation. This one, I want to worry about both of them at once. And also, due to this centerpiece, I want to first orient the center. So I'm just going to rotate that until I have them all in the correct places. Okay, so now my center is oriented correctly. And I want to bring these edge pieces into their correct places. So with this one, I can use two different algorithms. So one is the R, U, R inverted, U, R, 2U, R inverted algorithm, which basically rotates these three pieces in a counterclockwise direction. Or I can do the algorithm that's generally used on the regular Rubik's Cube for flipping the edge pieces, which would be F, R, U, R inverted, U inverted, F inverted. So I can use either of those two methods. So first, all I want to do is to place these into their correct places. So first, I see there's a green and pink over here. I'm going to move that over to here. So in this case, I'll use the R, U, R inverted, U, R, 2U, R inverted algorithm, and I'm just going to modify that a little bit. I'm going to go backwards. So from here, I'm going to move it out of the way. So in this case, it's R inverted, then U inverted, R, U inverted, R inverted, 2U. This one I want to go back, retrace my steps, and then R. Now as you can see, that's in the correct place. Now I had to do that with these three pieces. In this case, this piece, this white and red piece will go over here, this will go there, that will go back. So that's going in counterclockwise direction, so I can just use the original algorithm. So R, U, R inverted, U, R, 2U, I'm going to retrace, and R inverted. So in this case I was lucky and I already got two pieces completely solved. Okay, so the next part is very time consuming. So first you want to make sure that any of the pieces you're trying to rotate are opposite of each other. So you do not want to solve a piece opposite of a piece you're going to rotate, because the method I use is going to rotate this one and the piece opposite of it simultaneously. So to avoid that, I'm going to use R, U, R inverted, U, R, 2U, R inverted method algorithm to put this in that spot. So R, U, R inverted, U, R, 2U, retracing, and R inverted. Right now everything looks a bit confusing, but all you have to do is memorize which piece goes where. So because all these edges are in a way paired up with each other, as long as this piece ends up being solved, no matter what this piece looks like, unless it popped, this piece will end up solved when I revert it back to how it used to be. So from here, I'm going to do the edge flipping algorithm first, and then I'm going to combine it with the edge orienting algorithm. So first, from here, with the piece you're going to solve in front, I'm going to do F, R, U, R inverted, U inverted, F inverted. Then immediately I'm going to do U, and then from here I'm going to do a modified version of the edge orienting algorithm. So R inverted, U inverted, R, U inverted, R inverted, 2U retracing, and R. And in this case, the piece that was in front is not yet, well, first you have to move it back. Okay, so as you can see, this piece that was in front is still not solved yet. So I'm just going to repeat that until this piece ends up being solved. So R, U, I'm sorry. Okay, so it was F, R, U, R inverted, U inverted, F inverted, U, R inverted, U inverted, R, U inverted, R inverted, 2U retracing, R, U inverted. So I'm going to repeat that again. F, R, U, R inverted, U inverted, F inverted, U, R inverted, U inverted, R, U inverted, R inverted, 2U retracing, R, U inverted. And in the previous cases, when I had a situation like this, all I had to do was move it out to another side and rotate that piece 360 degrees around. But in this case, since all the other pieces are already solved, I cannot do that. So I just have to repeat this step again until it's rotated to its correct position. And that's why this method can be so tedious. So F, R, U, R inverted, and you just heard something pop. I'm not sure whether or not that's actually going to like damage the puzzle in any way, but in me solving it, but it shouldn't be too much of a problem. Okay. Okay, so I finished that method one more time. So I'm going to do that again since it's still not solved yet. Still not yet. So again, F, R, U, R inverted, U inverted, F inverted, U, R inverted, U inverted, R, U inverted, R inverted, 2U retracing, R, U inverted. So again, F, R, U, R inverted, U inverted, F inverted, U, R inverted, U inverted, R, U inverted, R inverted, 2U, R, U inverted. Okay, now, as you see, we finally put it into its correct place. So now all I have to do is, if you think back, what I did before was I rotated these three pieces counterclockwise. So now all I have to do is move them back clockwise. So I'm going to go over here, I'm going to move this piece here, that piece there, and that piece there. So R inverted, U inverted, R, U inverted, R inverted, 2U retracing, and R. And now as you can see, all the edge pieces are solved. Now the next step is just a repetition of a different algorithm, and that's going to place these corner pieces into their correct places. So this algorithm is the same as the regular 3x3x3, where you rotate one corner with another going in a counterclockwise or clockwise direction. So first, I'm looking at this side, and I can see that if I move these three pieces clockwise, then this white side will be solved, and this blue side will also be solved. So to do that, I want to have the piece I am not moving in front, and since I'm going clockwise, I want to have the piece I'm not moving in the front on the right. So from here, I'm going to do L inverted, U, R, U inverted, L, U, R inverted, U inverted. Now as you can see, these two corners are solved and this one is left. So now I just have to repeat this until all these corners are in their correct places. So since I already had these three, I want to finish this whole side, and I'm going to get the pink first. That's over here. I have to move it over. So in this case, I'm going to go the opposite way. I'm going to go counterclockwise, and I'm going to move this piece to where the green is. Therefore, this piece is a piece that's not moving, so it should be in the front. And since I'm going counterclockwise, I'm going to have it into the front on the left. From here, it's R, U inverted, L inverted, U, R inverted, U inverted, L, U, and now it's in the correct place. And I'm going to do that algorithm again, going clockwise, so that this piece can come over here. So since I'm going clockwise, I want to have this piece I'm not solving in the front to the right. Now I'm going to do L inverted, U, R, U inverted, L, U, R inverted, U inverted. So now I'm finished this whole side, and now I just have to worry about this one. And since this piece is already solved, I'm going to start here, going counterclockwise. R, U inverted, L inverted, U, R inverted, U inverted, L, U. And that's how you solve the gear corner turning octahedron. Thank you for watching.